Welcome to another episode of the Muffed Sports Show. I'm your host, Hayden Haynes, and joining me this week again is Seth Killen, as always.
Yes,
We're
sir.
once again doing the two-man Muffed Sports Show. Sadly, Cody is just struggling to get a good, rhythm with his new situation in Bama. Just whether it's the Wi-Fi or work, he's planning on getting it fixed though soon. So he should be back. I would assume definitely within the next couple of
Couple
weeks.
weeks for
But
sure.
we miss our
Need that
brother
sweat.
Cody. We miss
Need that
everybody else
sweat.
that's been on the pod recently. Everybody's got their own crazy life and schedule, so we respect that. But we hope everybody gets at least in the pod soon because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. The draft, man. I mean, clearly we're gonna knock out this final muffed mock draft. I think it's our third one we've done and the final one. So we're gonna talk about that. But before we do, we just wanted to say we're gonna do something tomorrow during the draft. We might have some clips coming out, the night of the draft, the next day, Friday, the second round, of us reacting to some of our teams and their picks, or just any kind of crazy trades or picks that happen throughout the draft. Because we know there will be moves. Players that are on rosters will get moved. There are going to be
Oh
trades
yeah.
to get up and move and take other players that, in the top 10 or come back in the first round to take a quarterback. Those kind of situations, we will be live reacting and dropping those clips out on social media as soon as we can. But yeah, so we're hopefully going to get most of the guys in the Discord tomorrow and try to see what we can do from there. But for now, me and Seth are back. We're going to talk about a couple of things real quick. I've just been seeing. I mean, I can't stop watching a bunch of other analysts, podcasts and just interviews and stuff like that. So I've been seeing a lot of whether it's Todd McShay or Adam Schefter, a lot of other guys, Rich Eisen, these big names that you hear of, and Peter Schrager. A lot of these guys do their mock drafts. Peter Schrager dropped his today. He's always doing his mocks based on like his sources, what he knows, not like what he would do if he was the team, but what he thinks is going to happen. Which I think that's kind of cool because it's like you get to see like really where a lot of these teams are like thinking, instead of guys that are just trying to pick teams or players for certain teams that they think would be a good fit. So it's fun to do that. I do think it's cool to practice and do those yourself, but when it's time to like drop that final mock, I think you got to go with what you think these teams
It's
are
gonna
going to
happen.
do.
Yeah.
So right now, just want to say a couple of things. We started off basically the last couple of mocks that we've done, pretty much locking in a couple of picks. Obviously, Cam Ward seems like that's a for sure lock. We slowly gravitated to Travis Hunter, to the Browns, and then it got to Abdul Carter to the Giants.
To the
Well, it's
Giants.
kind of now been a little, Shador talk, but we assume it's still going to be Abdul Carter. Now, the last couple of locks we heard in the top 10 were Mason Graham, the D lineman from Michigan, who's a good pass rusher, to go to the Jags, who really need help on the defensive side. But now it's kind of like Todd McShay and all these guys that have their good sources are saying that it's not going to be Mason Graham. It's not even going to be defense. That, like we talked about on our last mock, I said Liam Cohen, the Jags' new coach, is the OC or was the OC for the Bucks, and they had the whole Mike Evans, Chris Godwin situation. That's why we mocked Ted McMillan, the wide
Yeah.
receiver from Arizona. So now it sounds like they might be going Genty, they might be going Ted, they might be going Tyler Warren. They're definitely going a skill player. So that's something new that's happened. Plus, where is Genty going to go after if he doesn't go to the Jags? Is it going to be the Raiders? It sounds like they're kind of leaning offensive lineman or edge rusher or something like that, something of that nature, but not Genty, which is a surprise. But then you're also hearing trade rumors of the Bears want to move up a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe with the Jags and taking Genty. The Panthers want to move down a little bit at 8 and draft a possible edge later on or a D lineman. So there's stuff we're going to get into obviously right now so we can kind of just go through it and get this out the way. But just wanted to let y'all know stuff is changing. And this is what we're hearing right now. We're 24 hours from the first round. We're literally going to be 24 hours from now going to be reacting to probably,
The first pick to
yeah,
Cam the
Cam Ward and
Warden,
Travis, the Warden. So,
as
anyways,
Cody would
in
say.
honor of the Muff Mock, got a drink tonight. Just wanted to, you know, have a little colon open and just
Had
kind of
to.
cruise through this thing because we feel good about where our heads are at for our teams, I think. But it's time to really, dive into these other teams. So let's
Yeah, I
do
have
it,
no
man.
idea what the Steelers are gonna do.
We're gonna
George
talk
just
about
didn't
that.
follow the Steelers on Instagram. I feel
That is
like
true.
we could trade them.
That's what we're gonna talk about. Who
Mm,
are the trade candidates, possibly during the draft. You know, we've heard George Pickens,
I
we've
don't want it.
heard Jalen Ramsey. The
Yep.
Falcons, I know, are interested in him. So are the Raiders. We know that Kirk Cousins also could be a day 2 trade
It could be a
candidate.
steal dime.
Could be a Steeler. Could be a Viking again. Could be a Brown.
If he's a
Never know.
Steeler, chalk me up, guys, this
Uh,
season. You won't see
Kayvon
me on the
Thibodeau.
pod.
Won't see
I'm
you on the
leaving.
pod.
I'm leaving for the
Yeah, no,
year.
I would feel
If I
bad
get
if
Kirk,
George got out of there, man.
if we trade George and get Kirk, I give up. I give up. I'm gonna be a
You don't
Falcons
like Kirk
fan.
and DK, man?
No,
You don't
man.
think they're
And I hear
cool?
we gonna trade TJ.
Nah, y'all aren't gonna do
Bro, we
that.
can't do that, bro.
Well, we'll
All right,
see. I
we'll
mean, I
sell
think
it.
right now you're safe from the TJ trade unless something crazy got thrown your way. Who knows? Maybe
I feel
y'all
like
got a
no.
Godfather offer for him. Who knows? But anyways, those are just some names we're hearing. Kayvon Thibodeau's another guy I was going to say the edge for the Giants. If he,
Yep.
gets frustrated that they took Abdul Carter, or if they just think they're not going to, pay him that money, then they might as well just move him. So that's a guy. But yes, let's go ahead and start this thing out. We know the chalk in the
We know
beginning
the chalk at the start. That's
is
Cam.
Cam Ward to the Titans at 1,
It's Cam Ward to the Tippy Titans.
followed by Travis Hunter
Travis
at
Hunter.
2 to the Browns. So
Yep.
that's pretty much chalk. Now we think, right? Abdul Carter is probably still going to
To the
be a
Giants.
Giant.
Yep.
Okay. So nothing has changed. Now this is where it gets a little more chalky. I'm starting to feel like uh, the Patriots are going to go Will Campbell because it sounds like their coach Mike Vrabel fell in love with him. He was a former offensive lineman himself. Now Will Campbell just a dude's dude. Vrabel's a dude's dude. It seems like they're gelling. I think that's just a lock too.
I
Sounds like
like it.
everybody's talking
I
about
think
that.
it, yeah. I
The
mean, it'd
draft
be
starts at
nice.
5 officially. The draft starts here at the Jags. Now, this is where I want to get your thoughts, brother. Do we think there's more of a possibility that the Jags want Genty over Ted McMillan here, or do you think they would rather take Ted and also gain a pick or something from the Bears and flip with the Bears here? Because I think there's a reality where they do want Ted McMillan, but they also could move down and get him because nobody else is really super high on him right here. And they like Ted. So I think they could move down to 10 with the Bears in a trade. The Bears could go up to 5 and possibly
I
get Genty.
I do like that. I'm not gonna lie.
It just seems like that's the like okay, think about the offensive coaches that just came in. The Bears just got their new head coach obviously was an offensive guru for the Lions, had Jameer Gibbs, you know,
Yeah.
had all these weapons. He wants his guy. He's not going to just get it with Swift. We know that he coached Swift for
Yeah.
a little bit, wasn't the biggest fan. I think that year Swift was bad in fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. And then we know Liam Cohen wants Ted McMillan possibly because of the Mike Evans comp. So to me, that feels like
I
a
think that's
match.
a I think I like that.
So when we do the trade, you propose it. I feel like whenever I've been doing this, it's easier to get the team that's trying to move up first. So like you go with the Bears, like click the Bears here.
And then I just
No, click go back to
oh
proposed trade,
I see, I
and then
see.
you can do click the Bears and like they're proposing, like you click next. Mm-hmm. The Bears trade with the
The
Jags,
Jags.
and then from here, I've kind of played around this. The Bears would
10
send at
and
least
5.
the I think one of their second round picks, so like 39 because they have two, and then maybe 72 as well, and just see.
Maybe 148.
Well, no, because I'm telling you, this will deny it. You got and this is also not like 100% going to be accurate. We're just doing it for the
Yeah.
practice. We just want to get this trade done. So let's just give them 72 and 39 because I
I
feel
like
like
it.
it might work. They could reject it though. See what happens. Okay.
Wow.
So the Jags accepted. So
Wow,
the
that's
Jags and the
crazy.
Bears create the first big blockbuster trade of the draft.
Jack would be going crazy, bro.
I remember though, like a long time ago, I was like, man, the Bears could really use Ashton Genty. And Jack's like, man, we don't need that. We need linemen. We need linemen. But then they addressed
Then they
that.
got all them linemen over
So
the
now
whole
it's time to
season.
get your running back. And I think this is
And
a
I think
match made
that's
in
him.
heaven. Caleb
Yeah.
Williams and Ashton Genty, bro. Roma Dunze.
That would
That's
be
a
awesome.
that's a problem.
An Ashton Genty Bears jersey would go
Yeah.
dummy for Jack.
No, that'd be tough. I mean, he was number 2 in college. He's not going to get that from DJ Moore, so he's going to have to be something different. But yeah, that's a good team. DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Ashton Genty, Roma Dunze, Caleb Williams. That's scary.
That's a young. It's a young little core they got there.
Yeah,
Jerome, Caleb,
really.
and Genty.
No, I
It's a
think the Bears are
new
going to be set up
it's a new era.
tremendously.
Yeah,
This is a good time to be a Bears fan.
that
So Jack
is.
is going to be really happy, I feel like. So
Yep.
they get their guy. He's a blue chip prospect. Now we got the Raiders here. I'll tell you what I'm hearing. Um, I kind of feel like Armand Mimbu is an option. You know, he's the tackle that is really rising up the draft boards quickly. We know he's raw, but he's got a lot of talent. At the same time, I also wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders did go Jalen Walker just because, I mean, defense is always a need for the Raiders to go alongside Max Crosby.
I mean, they might as well stack the defense.
Does it on here can we I don't know because it's not yeah it says at the top if you look team needs corner running back wide receiver safety DT. Clearly Mason Graham would be the best player right here. He would
Yeah.
fit that need, but it's really sounding, I mean, from what I'm hearing, it's sounding like they're leaning more in the trenches on the offensive side, so like Armand Mimbu. But the wrinkle that I've heard as of today is that if they don't take Armand Mimbu, that the guy that they probably like a little bit better and would take here is also a tackle, would be Kelvin Banks Jr. from Texas. Okay.
Wow.
He's
That's a
a
reach.
dog. No, it really to me isn't a reach. I think, you know, it just depends on what website grades him. This one has him the 14th overall player, but I think Kelvin's going to be pretty dang good. I don't know, but I'm going to lead either Armand Mimbu or Kelvin Banks. Do you have any, you know, guy that you're thinking? I think last time we maybe picked Genty still to the
We just picked
Raiders,
Genty, yeah.
but clearly he got sniped from
I
there.
mean, dude,
So,
would it be crazy if they went? I mean, who was their quarterback? Who is it again?
well, they have Gino. They just signed
Oh my
Gino.
God, they do have Gino, bro.
Right.
Bro, low key, if they went McMillan, I
I,
wouldn't think that would be
it
crazy.
wouldn't be crazy, but I'm just here saying if what we're doing tonight is doing what we think they're gonna do, what we're hearing,
Yeah, it's got to be O
it's
line.
more lineman talk and possibly defense. And I know Mason Graham is right there staring at us, but they
Yeah,
do have Christian Wilkins, who they paid a lot of money to, who was hurt all last year. They do have him. They have Max Crosby. So their D line is okay. But I kind of feel like there's something about it that just screams they're taking a tackle. And I kind of
yeah,
want to take Kelvin Banks because that's what I've been hearing recently today. But
we can do that,
at the same time, it's like
dude. I mean, were they really wanting Genty?
I mean, they wanted Genty. I think they really like him, but it sounds like from what I'm hearing from like the experts, like Topping Shea, these other guys, it sounds like they really are worried about building this team from the trenches first because the Raiders are not built to win right now this year. They can't just expend like a luxury pick like this on a skill player when they know that they have to build the team from the trenches out. So I
That's
think
fair.
that's kind of like the old school mindset. Brady's in the building, Pete Carroll, they know how to win. So I think they're going to go lineman to protect Gino because Gino's a pocket guy.
Yeah.
I
All
kind of
right,
want to just go, come on, Mimbu.
we're doing it and getting
I
it
don't
out of the
know. It
way.
just feels like
Dude, I
he,
wouldn't be crazy. It wouldn't be crazy, bro, if they wanted Genty that bad and then they traded back a little bit. If they thought they could get Kelvin Banks a
yeah,
little bit farther down
right.
and then maybe get a second round pick for it or something and add to some skill players with the running back class being so deep.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I mean, the wide receivers aren't as deep as they
right.
have been in the past. But if they're
I
wanting
agree.
that, I could see them trading down a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, with like
They could
this.
for sure. I think that to me though, it's like the Jets are right there after them who also need linemen. So it's like
That's
they kind of
true.
are
Yeah.
risking
It's
if they
either
really
they're
they
choosing one
love
of
a
the two.
lineman, you kind of got to take them so the Jets
Yeah.
don't. So it's like, but here's the deal, right? So this is what I want to say about the Jets. I'm also hearing from the guys today that I've been watching all day talk about. We thought the Jets were a lock to take Tyler Warren, or we thought, you know, if Mason Graham fell, they take Mason Graham. Now they still might, but there's a
Mhm.
lot of talk now that they, you know, brought in Aaron Glenn, the DC that was on the Lions. He's a defensive guy. Clearly, a Mason Graham would be good for them. But they also have Quentin Williams, who's a defensive tackle. Maybe that's something they feel like they could do without. I kind of think for some reason, since they brought in Aaron Glenn, he's going to have a little bit of say. And it sounds crazy here, but he believes just like, think about what happened to the Lions last year. Hutch went down. They
Yeah, it
lost
was
so
rough.
many other defenders that were on the line and in the, front seven of that defense that he saw firsthand how terrible it is to not have a lot of depth and pass rushers. And the, defense for the Jets is solid, but they've had injuries. They could never have enough pass rushers. And this is where I'm hearing Jalen Walker would go, and Caleb would be a little salty, but it's
Caleb would be
okay
pissed.
because if we go Jalen Walker here to the Jets, then Mason Graham falls in the laps of the line
Of the
or of the Panthers,
Panthers.
which is a great
Yeah.
spot to be in if you're the Panthers. So I
I
think
mean,
I want to hear your thoughts. Do you want to go Jalen Walker here, or do you see anybody else that you're feeling like they could take? I was just giving you insight of what I'm hearing. So
yeah, and I mean that's the best linebacker on the board. I
right,
mean,
and he's gonna
it's
play
kind of like,
edge and he's gonna play linebacker for him.
yeah, I
So I
mean you
mean,
can't really beat that.
right,
Especially, I mean, you don't really need that. Mm, I mean, the offensive line wouldn't hurt, but I mean, like you've got like, cause they've just got that young core of
yeah,
Brees and Justin and Garrett
yeah.
now. So I don't know. I kind of do like the Jalen Walker thing though, with him being the best linebacker, and then kind of like how you said they brought that defensive coordinator in.
I think they would go defense over Tyler Warren. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, are they gonna really try to build around Justin Fields and they don't know if he's the guy? Like I would think they would go like just who's the best defensive player we can get instead of like a weapon that we don't know if we can
Let's
get the
do
most
it.
out of.
I
Let's
like
just do
Jalen
it.
Walker.
And then
That
at
would
8,
be,
I'm
I mean,
sorry,
Mason
go
Graham,
ahead.
right?
I was gonna say Mason Graham, I mean, makes a lot of sense. Now it's not a need. Like defensive tackle
Yeah.
for him is not a need because they have when healthy, one of the best D tackles in the league. But I feel like
I mean, if he
it's just like
falls,
if he falls in your lap right there,
I
how do
mean,
you
you gotta
not take
take
him?
him.
Right? I mean, or do we see a world where they trade down? Because I also heard today that they're the one team in the top 10 that is like the most popular team to trade down. And
Damn, that probably made Caleb shed a tear a little
I
bit.
told Caleb that today, and he said that's fine as long as we get good value, and then we don't go too far, so we can still get a good like edge rusher, which they could. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Now, can we scroll down and see like who are some teams that could, or no, not on that, but on
Oh
the
yeah.
yeah, who are some teams that would love to have
Mason
Mason
Graham.
Graham? Like some uh some D lineman teams that need. I mean, clearly, I mean the Falcons, but they wouldn't trade with us.
Yeah, they
I
wouldn't.
I kind of feel like I mean the Dolphins, but at the same time, they need a lot of things. The
It's got to be a team
Bengals,
close-ish within the top 20.
yeah, they don't want to fall. They don't want to drop too far down. I mean, the Colts probably want tight end or
I mean, maybe this is when the
Steelers.
Steelers trade up for
I have heard
Shador.
about that. I
Yeah,
have
dude,
heard
I
about that.
know.
But are the Steelers really worried about Shador
I
in the
don't know.
top
I don't
10?
know anymore, dude. I don't know. I've heard we're gonna take Shador. I heard that we're gonna stay at 21 and just pick like an offensive tackle or something. I've heard that we're gonna trade out of the first round and take Jalen Milrow or Jackson Dart. I heard we're gonna trade down and take a running back. Motherfucker, I
Yeah,
don't know what the hell we gonna do. I
man,
don't
nobody
know,
knows what the
man.
Steelers are going to do. But
No, bruh.
I kind of think if we can't decide in the next minute on a team to trade with, we just take Mason Graham, obviously. But if I were to suggest one team that the Panthers could trade with, scroll down just a little, it would be the Cardinals. Okay. I could see the Cardinals who desperately need defensive linemen moving up to take the best one, and then the Panthers can just be right there,
Right after
taking
y'all.
taking an edge. But the
That'd
thing is,
be
do they
so
want to be
funny.
after their rival and we take their pick? That's the
That'd be so
complicated
funny,
part.
dude. That'd be
This is
so funny.
this is where I'm like, the Panthers might as well just take Mason Graham.
Well, yeah, I mean, you might as well.
It's just like I want to trade because this is fun, but it's like,
They're gonna
nah,
take Mason Graham,
but
bro.
I'm hearing Panthers want to trade out.
I
Panthers
know, but
want to trade out.
if it goes like this,
I know.
like how we're saying it is,
I
they
know, but
gotta
they
take
they
Mason
want
Graham.
Jalen Walker so bad. So like if they miss out on him, dude, I
Tough
don't know,
shit,
man.
man.
All right, Mason Graham to the Panthers. Let's
But
just do it. Sometimes you got to take the best player on the board.
yeah, and that's I feel like that's a good spot to do it. Four
Now,
picks up.
the Saints, I'm getting a lot more clarity on what they're doing. For sure, they do not take a quarterback here. Now, they do kind of like Dart. Maybe they somehow get back in the late first or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they take a quarterback second day. Who knows? They're not taking a quarterback here. They're also in between a couple of guys, but I know for sure one guy they love, and he's the betting favorite right now. And it's Michael Williams, who is not one of the first names you'll see right here, but is severely, I think, underrated because he's a great edge that is a good run stopper. He's not a strictly a pass rusher, but he's physical. He's strong. He's one of the best run defenders that came out of college. And I think they want to replace their 15-year veteran Cam Jordan, so I think they're going to bring somebody like Michael Williams in and then see what it's like to be a real pro for a year under the wing of Cam Jordan. And then eventually Michael Williams takes over. And I mean, I'm looking at the betting lines, looking at the people that are the experts, and they're saying Michael Williams today. So
I mean, hey, I like it. Honestly,
the
hmm,
Saints have been perplexing. So I feel like we got to go with what is the
but I
trendy
feel
pick
like
now.
I like it, but I also feel like they're if they're going Michael Williams and they're trading down.
Yeah.
Got to. I mean, you're gonna nobody's gonna take him for a little minute. You trade to
So
like
who wants to trade
21.
up? Who wants to trade up? That's worried about somebody getting sniped from them. Because I can tell you right now, the Falcons might take the Saints pick. The Falcons might take Michael Williams,
That's true too.
and they're the rivals. I mean, that's where I'm trying to think about this because where do the Saints trade down? That's like we got to find a team before the Falcons that they could trade with. The Colts. I mean, what do they really want to trade up and get Tyler Warren so they make sure nobody else does?
I mean, it wouldn't be an. I mean, they definitely need some help.
It would be the most Saints thing to trade right before the Falcons pick.
Yeah, it would, and then they take y'all's pick.
The only thing I can say is like maybe the Colts are worried that either the Jags, the Cowboys, or the Dolphins want Tyler Warren.
Which the everybody, all of them could get him.
Right. Cowboys could use them. I mean, Dolphins could use
Dolphins
them,
could use him.
but they have a lot of needs. I mean, Jags could definitely, the Jags have been linked to him and Tet, which we know Tet will probably be the pick, but you never know. Maybe they like Tyler Warren. Do we really think the Saints force this trade or the Colts want to force a trade with them? Because I kind of feel like
I mean, you know where they're trying to get back in the late first or early second.
maybe they use some of the trade. Like maybe the Saints take one of those picks that they get in this trade to come back
That's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's do a trade. Let's do this. The Colts propose to the Saints.
Colts,
Let's
Saints.
see what the Colts got. So the Colts got a 45, so they
But
give
they've
them.
got 40.
So okay. So let's see. The Colts would give them 14,
Yep.
and then at least 45. You have
Yep.
to. They move up to 9. Now the question is that enough? Just that alone? Just give them a second round pick,
I don't.
but is
I
that
mean,
too much?
because I feel like it's too far.
What do you mean
Like
too
they're gonna
far?
want like a between 30 and 40 pick.
The Saints?
Mhm.
Well, the Saints are getting 14.
Yeah, but then they're not gonna draft a QB with that
They could totally draft a quarterback
at
in
40
in
or
the second
45.
round, but I mean, because that's just like the 13th pick of the second round. But at the same time, if they're trying to come up in the first round, they probably need because they would probably package 40 and 45 to move to like
Yeah,
32 or something with the Eagles. So
that's
to me,
true.
I kind of think this would work. Just see if it
Okay,
works. If
let's see.
not, I mean, okay, they rejected it. So let's try it again. And this time, the Colts are going to have to pay up. The Colts are going to have to at least give 80 or 117, and then for just 9, and see if that works.
That's gotta work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
So
mean
we
that's
got the Colts moved up to 9. Just for people listening, they traded with the Saints. They gave a second round. They gave I believe it was 117 as well. And then their 14th pick to move
and
up to 9, which is maybe that's a lot for some people. But if they believe that Tyler Warren is going to get taken somewhere between 10 to 13, which it could happen.
It
Maybe they
could.
think maybe they get word somebody else is trying to trade up.
Yeah.
So let's just do it. Tyler Warren
Tyler Warren.
to the
And we
Colts, and
know
then now we
we
think
did this. Ted McMillan's going to
the
the
Jags are now
Jags.
at 10 for people that are
Yeah.
listening. The Jags traded with the Bears. And then they're gonna go Ted McMillan here. They're gonna get
Yep.
that wide receiver combo, Brian Thomas Jr. and Tedro McMillan, to be one of the best young duos of all time, possibly,
Wow.
with Trevor Lawrence, who finally will have a
Something.
nice core. And then maybe they get a running back later on. Who knows? Okay. Because they did trade down with the Bears, so the Bears gave them some picks. So that could be a move for the Jags, really. That's a
Could be.
move.
It
That's a
could
move.
be.
Now, the Niners, they need DT, corner, linebacker, edge, guard. On the board, we have Will Johnson, Shamar Stewart, Kelvin Banks, Mike Green, and then Harmon and Jade Barron. I personally feel like they're gonna go. It kind of seems like they're gonna go defense here, and either gonna go corner or edge.
I could see some more Shamar Stewart.
I could see them going like high upside next to Joey Bosa and just having some dogs rushing the quarterback.
Oh,
But at the same time, I mean, do you want to go Will Johnson here? Just play it safe and get you a lockdown corner. I mean, you just
that's
lost
true.
Travarius Ward. I mean, you've lost um just you've lost a lot of people in that team in general. I mean, you could really use an alpha defensive player. Shamar Stewart has questions because he didn't produce a lot, but he has a lot of upside. Um, I don't know. You can make this decision, bro. I don't want to
I
be the
like
one driving the boat.
I like Will Johnson.
Yeah.
I think he would go good on there.
Remember when they had Richard Sherman for a little bit?
Yeah.
And like they kind of always have decent lanky corners.
Corners.
I mean, he's a
Yeah.
pretty good lockdown, put you on an island guy. I mean, he's not one of the best we've seen, but he's still a solid player. So
I like it. I'm doing it.
Will Johnson corner from Michigan goes to 11 to the Niners. And then now we have America's team, Dallas Cowboys, who I've been told, not directly, just from everything I'm watching, I've been hearing that basically they're going to go wide receiver. And we mocked Matthew Golden from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, why are we staying away from it? I mean, if they don't get that,
I'm
we're going to go
clicking it.
Matthew Golden. So, Matthew
Maybe
Golden and
maybe
CD
the
Lamb.
Cowboys trade up to 9 and
Well,
get
if they
Ted.
if they want Ted, then yeah, that could be a move. But I feel like
I could see the
Jerry
Texas
Jones is just going to
motherfucker.
stick and pick. He's just that kind of guy. All right, so Matthew Golden, 12 to the Cowboys. Now we're on 13. We do have a perfect pick, I feel like, here, which is the tackle Kelvin Banks Jr.
Yeah.
from Texas.
Yeah.
Dolphins desperately need
I think
linemen. It
they
doesn't
need
it
that.
doesn't say they need tackle in here, but this is probably not accurate all the way because they definitely are going to lose. I mean, they lost Teron Armstead. I mean, they're going to need to protect Tua. So we might as well get the guy for the future, and that's Kelvin Banks Jr.
Give it to him. You need to protect concussion too in that.
Got to. And then the
Yeah.
Saints are now on the clock at 14. They were going to be
And
at
they
9.
can
They
finally
traded
go
down.
Michael.
Michael Williams, 14, and they take him right from the Falcons like
Right
some
from
little
the
rats that they
Falcons.
are.
Like some little rats.
Now, I've been told from the Falcons sources on Twitter that
I've been
are
told from the
trusted.
Falcons themselves.
The Falcons told me they sent me a DM. They said we got the lock for you. Nah, but they did say the three names that are linked to the Falcons right now are Mike Green, edge from Marshall, James Pierce, the edge from Tennessee, Michael Williams, who just got sniped right before them from the Saints, their rival, like you just
Fucked up.
mentioned.
It's fucked
Walter
up.
Nolan, the defensive tackle, and then Malachi Starks, the safety from Georgia. I think we've done Malachi before, but it seems like
We
they want to
have.
go edge rusher.
I'm going Mike.
I'm going Mike
Give me
Green.
Big Mike.
17 sacks last year, led the FBS. Give me
Give me
Mike
Big
Green.
Mike.
We need that. Falcons go edge, finally get Mike Green, and then now we have 16, the Arizona Cardinals, who
Yep.
desperately need defensive tackle and edge. Could go corner. I've been hearing more defensive tackle for the
I
Cardinals.
could see Derek.
I could see Derek Harmon.
I like
I
Derek.
could see it, but I also could see Walter Nolan. He's underrated on this draft board here, but Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle from Ole Miss, is going to go high, and he's going to go possibly top 10. We may be wrong on this mock, and he could be definitely top 10. But Walter Nolan's right in the 20s. If you might have just missed him barely.
Yep, I did.
I would either go him or Derek Harmon, but I just know that the upside is real with Walter. I mean, he's a beast. Um, This isn't like something directly I've been hearing. I just know that they do want defensive tackle. So it'd be either Harmon or Walter Nolan or maybe Kenneth Grant, but I kind of feel like
I
that's a
like
reach.
Walter here. If what you're hearing,
I mean, we could go Derek Harmon, but I feel like Walter Nolan's going to go high. I really do.
could be sleeping. I'm
Let's just
sleeping.
go Walter Nolan from Ole Miss to the Cardinals. Okay. So this could be a good spot for the Bengals to take Shamar
Shamar,
Stewart.
yeah,
They could go get their edge opposite of Trey Hendrickson, or they say we're getting edge to replace Trey Hendrickson. Now they could also go
yeah.
Derek Harmon. If they're going to keep Trey, maybe they just say we're going to fill the defensive tackle spot. Um, what would you, as a rival, what would you want them to not or
Trade
what?
at.
Yeah, yeah, obviously trade down. But if they don't, who would you be like? I hope they don't take this guy
um,
because I feel like Shamar
probably
Stewart's got
Stewart.
crazy upside, but I mean
Is
these defensive
is
tackles are good too, man.
I
Okay,
got
see the
no opinion. Yeah,
RAS with the number 10 beside it. That is it's a metric that they use. That's like part of the combine results and pro day results that they use. They combine them all up. They see where you're at compared to everybody else. And it's a 1 through 10 scale. This dude tested as a 10 out of 10 as far as like athleticism goes. He is an athlete. He didn't produce like that, but he's raw. He's athletic.
ooh,
Yeah, tough for Malachi Starks. 5.29.
wow.
Nick. Okay, so Nick, uh, the safety from South Carolina. I'm not going to butcher your last name, but he is also a 10, and he's going to be a guy we talk about, and I'm sure in a minute. But I'm going to say they go either Shamar or Derek Harmon. What do you think?
I'm gonna guess that they're gonna go Shamar
Yeah, and then maybe they can
because
trade Trey Hendrickson.
yeah, or
Okay.
just have two.
Yeah, or have to. I mean, why not? Like we said, you can never have enough.
No, you can't.
Shamar Stewart to the Bengals. Now we have 18. The Seahawks desperately are either going to do one of two things: draft Colston Loveland right here because they
Yeah, they
do
need something.
need a tight end to replace Noah Fant, who's really old, or they're going to go offensive line and they're going to take Gray Zabel or Tyler Booker, the guards. What do you think they do? I mean, I know you haven't probably listened to enough about like Seahawks mocks because I mean, who does?
Yeah.
But like between those three guys, what feels like your gut feeling? What's the pick?
I mean, I like a key player in Colston Loveland on that offense with Sam Darnold and Cooper
Yeah,
Kupp.
I'm kind of leaning on that too, man.
But I also could see him. I do like the O line pick because with
Yeah,
Kenneth and Zach.
yeah. Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. I mean, who they could
Yep.
trade one of the two. I saw that too. But they do want to run the rock. They want to play good defense. I think that they paid Sam Darnold all that money for a reason. They trust him.
Yeah.
They want to protect him.
I'm going Colston.
But yeah, so Colson
Uh,
Loveland. I mean, I was gonna say he can block, but he's a great pass catcher. People love him. He's been graded top 10 on some people's boards. So I feel like Colson Loveland over a guard who has maybe some questions in Tyler Booker or a guard like Gray Zabel who is good, but is it a risky pick? I don't know. But Colson Loveland could be a really great pass catching tight end for him. And I
he
feel like that could be
could.
money next to JSN and Cooper Cup, Kenneth
Yeah,
Walker,
come
Colson
on
Loveland,
now.
Sam Darnold. That could be
Yeah,
something.
that could be poetry.
Yeah, I really believe in that. So the Bucks at 19, it sounds like they could go Jade Barron at corner. We know they definitely need. I don't know why it still shows Seahawks
Yeah,
team
it's
needs,
bugging.
but it's delayed. But basically, I would not do that because that would be probably delete
Oh, resume
everything.
draft.
Oh, there you
Oh
go.
shit.
There you go. So the Bucks need corner, safety, edge, linebacker, defensive tackle. Jade Barron is the best corner on the
Jade, yep.
board.
Jade or Malachi.
I've
Or
heard Jade.
Nick.
Yeah,
I mean shit.
yeah. I mean, they could go safety for sure. I kind of feel like they're gonna go um definitely one of these big name, Jade Barron or Malachi Starks or Nick Emin Wari. Definitely not gonna make a risky, crazy pick. I don't think they're gonna take Jahad Campbell, even though He's good, but he's just got some medical injuries as of recent that people are a little concerned about. So I'm gonna say either Jade Barron.
I like Jade.
I just don't think they're gonna go safety for some
I
reason.
like Jade.
Yeah, and he can do a little bit of both. So
Yeah.
inside and out, I think that's a good pick for the Bucks. Even though I'm not a huge fan, obviously, as a Falcons fan, but good pick for them nonetheless. Now we have 20 right here, the Broncos. Clearly they've been linked to running back. I know they want Genty so bad, but it would take a lot to move up that high. Amarian Hampton here could be a move, but I'm kind of hearing less about him as of late. It feels more like they could go Egbuka. That's a pretty
That would be
damn good
crazy.
pick. Maybe next to Cortland Sutton, and then give Bo Nix a guy. What do you think? Do you think they would go running back or wide receiver here?
I mean, I like the wide receiver here, putting Mbuka on that team with Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton. That would just be
One
crispy.
thing is like they were dead last in rushing, I'm pretty sure. But it's
Oh,
like, do they really do they just say, screw, we're taking the best wide receiver? Ibuka can block, he can catch, he can play inside and out. He's physical. Sean Payton loves those guys that are like a little bit of everything. And then plus there's so many running backs, they could probably get one later on. I
they
mean,
could get one later.
do we
Wait,
know how many picks they have? Yeah. Just propose something to see like what their picks look like. 40,
51.
51. They could definitely get a running back at 51.
Yeah,
Is it the
they
guy they
could.
want? I don't know. I
I mean,
I
if
I'm thinking Egbuka.
I like it. I like that
I
pick.
love
I'm
Emeka
doing it.
Egbuka, dude. And then now this is in your the ball is in your court, brother. The Steelers are on the clock at 21, and Shador Sanders is on the board. Will
God,
they
that's
will they
so
trade
crazy,
down?
man.
Do y'all trade down and try to get a second round pick here? Let's think about that. Who's on the board besides Shador? Okay.
Everybody.
I know, but like who's like a big name that's like falling a little? Maybe Derek Harmon,
I
defensive
mean,
tackle.
Amari and Hampton.
Amarian Hampton. Yeah,
Even though we really don't need. I mean, low key, if they didn't take Ibuka, then I would
y'all
say
do want a running back too, but I know it could be later. I mean, this is just let's do a little quick thing. In the rest of the first round, who's a team that could use either safety or defensive tackle that would move up right here, or hell, even linebacker? I mean, because I think if you scroll
I mean,
down,
honestly, maybe like the Chiefs.
out that's exactly what I was going to say. I've heard today Diana Rossini said the Chiefs are a team looking to move up, and
Yeah, I
they and
could
they
see
want
it.
tackle, and I'm thinking maybe Josh Simmons is in play here
Yeah.
for them because they want to protect Mahomes. Obviously, their line was bad. I think they could snipe Josh Simmons away from like the Texans,
Hmm.
or the Rams who need linemen possibly. Do we make a trade right now and y'all just
I
move
kind of
down to
like it.
31?
I kind of like it.
And then y'all see if y'all can take Shador at 31 instead and then gain picks too?
So I'd give him that. We'd give him.
So they would give y'all at least 31 and 63, but definitely y'all would probably say we need something else. Maybe
Would we get
95?
63 and 66? No way.
I mean, 10 spots is a good chunk, but it's like y'all got to try. Maybe
I'm gonna
95,
try
but
it.
I don't know.
I'm gonna try it.
Let's just see.
Yeah, no,
Ooh.
I didn't want
Steelers said
that.
we're not going for that. So the trade got rejected for people listening. They tried to send 3 picks to the Steelers to move up 10. It was 31,
Wow.
63,
So
66.
if they did that, then they still don't even want. Yeah, no, it's not happening.
Wait. Go back out and like
I
restart
mean,
this. Can you do Chiefs first? Like propose trade and then do Chiefs and then the Steelers? Because sometimes
trade with.
it's
Oh
weird.
wait, you're right. You're right.
So 31, 63, 66. And then let's say, yeah, y'all just give them 21 and then maybe 95 too, or 133. Like they give y'all that. Because I mean, think about it. That's a pretty that's a good haul.
Wait, would they go next
Yeah,
year?
let's just say like a next year third. Okay, so it worked. So the Chiefs
Yeah,
give up 31, 2 picks in the 60s, and the future third, next year's third, to move up 10 spots to take
to take
Josh
Josh
Simmons. Oh,
Simmons.
and make sure they get a good tackle with a lot of upside. Obviously, injury history is real, but dude is a baller. Yeah, he's just got to get healthy. That's the thing.
Yeah.
See what happens. But I mean, it could happen. Chiefs have
Wow.
been linked to moving up, so Chiefs move up, take Josh Simmons. I mean, we're trying to think outside the box here. You never know. The draft is not going to be chalk, so we got to get crazy.
Yeah, and
Okay,
I don't know
go
if we'd
ahead.
be able to get. I mean, we'd have to go Milrow if this is the case.
I don't. Who's going to take Shador,
Dude, somebody's gonna take him in the second.
dude? In the
Just to put
second,
him in the
yeah.
bag.
But y'all are going to get him in here in the first round.
Oh, I see, I see,
He's
I
gonna
see.
he's gonna go
We
right
still
to
gotta
y'all
pick.
because nobody's gonna take
Forgot
Shador
about
right
that.
here. Yeah.
Yeah,
So look, let's focus on 22. We got the Chargers. They don't get Loveland, who's the tight end that everybody wants them to take.
yeah.
They need defensive tackle, wide receiver, corner, um, or offensive or a center. So I mean, first thing that comes to my mind is Derek Harmon, defensive tackle. He's just the best player available right
I
now
mean,
for
yeah,
him.
you kind. I feel like they kind of have to take
It's,
that.
it's Jim Harbaugh. He's a defensive guy. I don't know. It just feels like a Chargers player,
Yeah,
man.
I'm liking that.
Yeah.
I'm liking that just off
18th
rip.
player on the board to the 22nd pick
I
in the
mean, you can't
Chargers. I
you can't
mean,
beat that.
good value there. I mean, maybe their fans aren't thrilled. It's not a skill player, but it is what it is. Justin Herbert and Ladd had a good connection. Maybe they can find somebody else in the second round. But Packers on the board, 23 right here. They desperately need defense, edge and corner. Probably going to trade Jair Alexander, maybe right here in the draft. Who knows? But the corners are not that great in this spot. I think they would go edge. This screams either James Pierce Jr. or Nick Scorton, the two edges that are the highest ones left here. Or I mean, I guess they could have the edge from Boston College. If we scroll down a little bit, he should be right there. Donovan Ezeraku, he is pretty dang good. I mean, he's a guy that could probably, not even need to develop that much. He's pretty much ready to go. But I kind of think they go upside and get like a James Pierce. He's a guy that's like was supposed to be the number one edge in the class before the season started, but kind of had a couple of character issues, I guess, like football on like off the field stuff, maybe. I don't know, just locker room problems. But the
Yeah.
NFL can work with that. There's guys like that everywhere. So I mean, James Pierce feels like a guy they could go and get just to have somebody alongside Rashawn Gary. Nick Scorden, I mean, he's kind
I
of
like James
similar.
Pierce.
James Pierce 9.4 RAS
Yeah,
score.
I
I
like
think
that.
I think that's a good pick for them.
I like
They
that.
like SEC dogs. I mean, so I could see that. So James
All
Pierce
right.
Jr. to the
Yep.
Packers.
Malachi's fallen.
Malachi
I
Starks is falling, and they are going to have to replace old Harrison Smith, the
yeah,
safety they have.
and I like Nick over Malachi from just what I'm seeing on that.
Just the athletic standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, the upside is real. Malachi is very good, but 6'3", 220 and a 10 score.
4.3,
Bro,
forty-three inch vert.
he's a freak athlete.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Ned
So
Texans.
Seth said Nick Emanwari to the Vikings at 24. So they get their safety. So the Texans are in a weird spot because they don't have a tackle on the board here, but at the same time they need
They
guard.
they
And
need
Tyler
they need a
Tyler
guard, and
Booker,
Tyler Booker's right there.
they love
It's like a
Alabama
match made in
players.
heaven.
D'Amico Ryan's Bama boy would get him one right here.
Oh.
So I know he did not.
Uh,
He's the guy that's fallen since the beginning, like of the mocks because of that tragic score. Plus, it's just is weird because you watch him on tape, he's pretty damn good. He's one of the best Bama guards that we've had, but it's like he's a he's a weird fit for certain teams. But this could work. I do believe in him still. Sometimes you just got to ignore some of the bad numbers and just got to look at the tape and say, okay, it is what it is. Dude can still play, football at the end of the day. So Tyler Booker makes sense. Now we got the Rams at 26 on the board. Is there anybody here that screams like 100% this guy is a Ram? Because I don't see one unless
Jahad Campbell. You
okay.
are a Los Angeles Ram.
I was gonna say unless it's Jahad
Bro, I
Campbell.
could see him taking Jackson Dart
I know, just to sit behind Matthew
just to sit
Stafford.
behind Matt. And I
Can
could I
I
could so see. I mean,
can I
dude, think
propose
about it.
something?
Think about it before you propose.
Yeah,
The Falcons took Michael Penix at 8.
I know. But Michael Penix was like that.
I know he was like that, but just to sit behind someone. So what if they think that
Okay, I agree.
the Rams are like that,
Can I propose something?
or Jackson Dart's like that? What?
Basically, Todd McShay is saying he swears the Giants love Jackson Dart way more than they do Shador Sanders. So
Who do the
the
Giants?
Giants.
Yeah.
Do the
Oh,
Giants come back in right here and take
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart, and then yeah, just say sorry, Shador's not our guy. Like they love apparently Jackson Dart because Brian Dayball is a guy that had Josh Allen. He's had Danny Dimes. He's had these bigger dudes that can throw the ball far, are mobile. Now the Giants are at 34. They wouldn't move. The Rams wouldn't move that far.
No, they wouldn't.
The
The
Rams
Giants would
could
have to
get
give up 65 and 99 probably.
probably yeah, and then but the Giants get their future quarterback, and
And
they
they get
already
Abdul
have Abdul
Carter.
Carter.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah, and
Wow.
accepted just like that. So the Rams move
Wow.
down to 34. The Giants come up and take Jackson Dart in our
That's
final mock
insane.
at 26.
I like
I
that.
if we call this,
I'll
I'm
be
gonna be
lit.
excited because I mean
Yeah.
this is a big. I mean we've
This
had
is a
some
big,
crazy
some
trades in
crazy
this,
trades.
and we'll recap it. But 27. This is a home run for the Ravens. I'm sorry, Seth, but it's Malachi Starks.
Yeah.
I keep hearing Malachi Starks is a Raven. That's all I'm hearing.
Whatever, man. The
Screw it.
Lions.
The Lions at 28. I think Nick Scorden or Donovan
Or
Ezraku.
Gray Zabel, bro. Bolster
Oh,
that
you're
line even
right. You're
more.
right. Graze Abel.
Oh my god.
I actually heard somebody
I'm taking it.
on a podcast today saying he was their pick.
Dude, if
Yeah.
that happens, bro,
He's a
GG's.
Dan Campbell kneecap biter.
GG's.
All right. Grace Abel, guard from North Dakota State, who was the player of the week at the Senior Bowl, played the best in practice out of anybody. So that's a lion right there.
And now the
Commanders.
2026 Super Bowl champions,
Washington
like
Commanders.
Washington Commanders,
Bro.
are taking.
Wait, can we resume the draft
Wait,
to
yeah,
see
whoops.
edge, corner, safety, defense? We had them taking Luther Burden, but now that I think about it, I mean they just got Debo. They're not going to take a wide receiver this high. I mean,
Jahad Campbell's not
it's
bad.
not a bad pick. I'm kind of feeling it because think
I
about
kind
it.
of like it.
Their head coach Dan, I was going to say Dan Campbell again. Dan Quinn, who was on the Falcons, for so many years, was the
Yeah,
coach, defensive minded guy. He loves linebackers, and a guy like Jihad would fit them because he could do a little bit of inside off the ball linebacker, good in coverage, good in playing in the box, good at
yeah,
blitzing, come off the edge a little bit. He was an edge in high school. This makes sense to me.
I like it. I think it's a great fit.
Yeah. So Jihad Campbell, good value at 29. I feel like for the Commanders, this makes that defense a little bit more
Do
scary.
do the Bills trade James Cook here and take Omari and Hampton?
Oh my god.
Because they haven't signed James Cook back to a deal yet, and he's like you said, he might sit out until he gets signed.
I
So what if they
mean,
trade him here?
I hear you.
Wait, I guess it wouldn't matter. They wouldn't need to trade him here.
I hear you.
They just take Omari and Hampton and then
I'm
trade to get
I,
back in.
I could see it, but at the same time, it's like
It's a little risky.
they
It's a lot
probably are
more
just
on
going to
the
pay James.
yeah.
We
I mean,
see
that's
people
not a
get
bad idea.
we see people hold out that always wind up getting paid. I mean,
Yeah.
running backs are starting to get paid. I feel like James is good enough to get paid. They probably will, but I think I'm hearing that they want corner really bad. And Trey Amos from Ole Miss is a good corner. He's at 34 on the board. He's not too far off from that right
Yeah.
here at 30.
It's not a bad
Him.
look.
What are the other corners we can see?
Um,
I know. Oh
Shavon,
yeah, Ravel, Siobhan Ravel from East
Shavon,
Carolina.
Shavon,
East Carolina. That was the guy Tom McShay, I believe, had to the Bills. Um,
Jonah.
yeah,
No,
I'm.
that's a
He's a
guard.
guard.
Whoops.
I would
Thomas,
say yeah. Thomas was supposed to be one of the higher corners going, but he kind of
Florida State
people
fell off.
well that, but also people just been having some second thoughts on him. But I think in general they're gonna go corner. Anybody you're leaning towards?
I mean, Trey Moss. I mean,
Trey Amos.
SEC. Yep.
Yeah,
Trey
Trey
Moss.
Moss. Short it.
Tree Moss.
He was a Bama at one point. He transferred, but I don't know. They people saying
I mean,
Chevelle. I
I
mean, from
like
East
I like the
Carolina.
SEC
I know.
comp there. I feel
I mean,
like
it's better than
he's
East
got
Carolina comp.
yeah,
I just feel like from watching tape, I think Trey's pretty good. I would take him here and feel good about it, but I don't know what the Bills are going to do necessarily. But since we don't have a good feeling, let's just go Trey. I mean,
yep. I like it.
I've seen more of him than I have from Chevelle. But anyways, I'm not an expert. I'm just giving you my thoughts. Steelers at 31 are definitely taking Shador. They have to.
I mean, if
Y'all
he's gone that far, you
right.
can't not take
So
him.
Steelers at 31, but then they also are going to gain picks from that trade down. So
Yep.
that's pretty good for y'all. And then the Eagles. Now here's something, right? Eagles always do something crazy, I feel like. And they always get somebody that's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't really have any gut like reaction to them right now. I just feel like for some reason they're going to be a team that could trade down. I was going to say the Browns because I mean that's what Tom McShay proposed that the Browns would come back in and take Shador, but since the Steelers did, I kind of think the Browns are just going to say screw it and we'll just take Jalen Milroe later on or something. So maybe they don't trade up right here, and I don't think they would want to trade up to get Jalen Milroe. They're trying to keep
Yeah.
picks. So let's just say Eagles. I mean, is there anybody else that we can think that can move up right here? Or we think Eagles just stay and take an edge or something?
Somebody who would want Omari in Hampton,
Or somebody that wants Luther Burden.
or somebody who wants Luther Burden.
Amari Hampton is pretty intriguing though.
Yeah, it's the second best running back, but
I
not many
mean,
running backs go in the first.
right. I'm gonna be honest. I could see there's a couple of teams that come to mind. I could see the Vikings. I could also see we just talked about the Broncos earlier wanting Hampton. Is there? Can we see if the Broncos could trade with the like
Bro,
with their picks
that would be
if they
insane.
get Egbuka and Amar and Hampton? So Broncos and Eagles. Broncos have it's tough. So
Gotta
probably
be
not.
like this,
It would have to be a
this,
lot.
and like this.
It would have to, but that's so much.
Maybe this.
I
I
know,
mean,
but
dude,
are
you're
the
think
Eagles
about it.
gonna do that?
You're getting your running back for the future.
Yeah, but why would the Eagles do this?
Bam.
Okay, well, the computer said the Eagles would do it. So the Eagles in this situation would get next year's second, this year's second from the Broncos, and then a third. It
And then,
was like a
yeah,
third pick or
just
something.
around a
So like
third.
two
So
seconds and a third to
honestly,
move.
they probably would want a first
I don't know,
if
but
that was to be the case.
come on, but that's kind of crazy. I mean, I can't lie. I could see somebody coming in because the Eagles are always trying to trade and get more picks. So I'm thinking that's definitely an option. I just feel
Mm.
like the Broncos might not be the team, but we're going to do it for this. Martin Hampton ends the draft at 32 to the Broncos. So the Broncos get Egbuka and Amari Hampton to go with Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton. That is, and Evan
That
Ingram.
would be an unreal new Broncos team.
Unreal. Apps and their defense is already pretty locked.
Yeah, would be
Broncos are going to
lit.
be on Super Bowl watch soon.
Super Bowl watch.
That's scary, man. I mean, for that
It's
AFC
kind of lit.
West. So let's think about it. We did one, two,
Three,
three, four
four.
trades. That's
Mm-hmm.
not crazy. Four
Nah,
sounds about right.
not crazy.
Could be more. So let's revisit. We had Cam Ward one to the Titans as chalk. Travis Hunter to the Browns at 2. Abdul Carter to the Giants at 3. Will Campbell to the Patriots at 4. Now that we know that's pretty much standard, everybody thinks that's going to happen. 5, we had our first trade. Bears move up, take Ashton Genty from the Jags. And then Armand Mimbu at 6 to the Raiders. Jalen Walker at 7 to the Jets. Mason Graham falls to the Panthers at 8. Tyler Warren goes to the Colts at 9 because they trade up with the Saints. Then Ted McMillan goes to the Jags at 10 because of that trade with the Bears. Will Johnson goes to the Niners at 11. Matthew Golden, wide receiver, goes to the Cowboys at 12. Kelvin Banks Jr. to the Dolphins at 13. Michael Williams goes to the Saints at 14 via the trade with the Colts. The Falcons then take Mike Green, the edge rusher, at 15. Walter Nolan goes to the Cardinals at 16. Shamar Stewart at 17 to the Bengals. Colston Loveland goes to the Seahawks to give them another weapon for Sam Darnold at 18. Jade Barron at 19 to the Bucks. 20, the Broncos get a Buka, which is a great pick. Josh Simmons to the Chiefs via trade with the Steelers at 21. Steelers go
Mm.
down 10 spots. And then Derek Harmon to the Chargers at 22. James Pierce Jr. to the Packers at 23. Nick Eamon to the Vikings at 24 to replace Harrison Smith. Tyler Booker, Bama guy, once again goes to the Texans at 25. Now we have the Giants trading up with was it the Rams? Yeah, it was the Rams. And taking Jackson Dart to get Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart in this year's first round. And then 27 is the Ravens getting Malachi Starks, 28 Gray Zabel to the Lions, Jahad Campbell 29 to the Commanders, Trey Amos 30 to the Bills, Jador Sanders to the Steelers at 31. They also pick up some extra picks, which is much needed after trading, for DK. They gave up that second. And then 32, the last trade, the Broncos come back in to make sure they get that damn running back because they were the worst
Crazy.
running team in the league, and they get Agbuka and Amarian Hampton on that team this year.
Unreal key players there.
Now that's a mock draft if I've ever seen
That's
one.
a damn mock right there, brother.
It was fun. I'm glad we got that out the way. I'm sad that we couldn't have everybody in this, but tomorrow,
Yeah.
hopefully, people join and we can get some live reactions. I can't wait to see what our teams
Dude,
do.
I can't either, bro.
It's gonna be great. I'm excited. But that was that for this week's episode. Thanks again for joining, everybody. This is the Muff Sports Show. That was the Muff Sports Mock Draft 3.0. I'm your host, Hayden Haynes. That's Seth Killen.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see y'all post draft.
Post draft, baby.
All right. I'll see you, man.
See, dude.